All right, welcome to Talking Investing. I am Tom, and as always, this is not financial advice. Today, I want to talk about Riot Platforms, formerly Riot Blockchain, stock ticker RIOT. They're a Bitcoin mining company. They put out their January monthly operational report, and there were some record-breaking numbers in there, but a bunch of other news that we really need to go through. So, a lot to go through today with Riot. If you're new to the channel, please remember to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Also, if everybody could please smash the like button. Okay, let's get into Riot. So, just to take an overview look here, Riot is trading at $6.61 right now. It's down about 3% on the day. That's right within most of the other Bitcoin miners, so about average performance for the day. That leaves it at $1.1 billion market cap. That's actually the largest market cap of all the Bitcoin mining companies that are publicly traded in North America. And I track about 18 myself. I think there's a few more past that. So this is the largest one by market cap. They're the only ones over $1 billion at this time, although many of these companies, as many as 7 or 8 of these companies, have been $1 billion plus market cap companies at some point near their all-time highs about 15 or 16 months ago. Okay, so let's go straight to the update and let's see what's going on. All right, February 6th, so this was this morning. Riot announces January 2023 production and operations update. Riot produces new all-time high of 740 Bitcoin in January of 2023. Provides infrastructure update. Okay, so 740 Bitcoin mined, that is their all-time record. We will go look at a chart later of their Bitcoin production by month and just take a look and see how that fits in. But like they said, this is their all-time record. January has been a spectacular month so far for the large Bitcoin miners. CleanSpark had their all-time record at just under 700. Marathon had their all-time record in January at just under 700. And Riot had their all-time record at 740. Bitcoin production and operations update for January 2023. Riot produced 740 Bitcoin, an increase of 62% as compared to January of 2022 production. Riot held approximately 6,978 Bitcoin as of January 31st, 2023, all produced by the company's self-mining operations. So they have been hanging around somewhere around 7,000 Bitcoin, just under 7,000 Bitcoin for several months. Riot takes a hybrid approach. They total some of their Bitcoin and they sell some of their Bitcoin. Increasingly, they've been selling the vast majority of the Bitcoin that they mine each month in order to fund operations and growth. And we're going to take a look at that later because their growth is absolutely spectacular. And they have some huge plans in 2023. Okay, so Riot sold 700 Bitcoin, generating net proceeds of $13.7 million. So you see they mined 740, they sold 700. That is the vast majority of what they mine. I just want to note that Riot has maybe the strongest balance sheet of all the Bitcoin miners. Okay, so just a quick look at their balance sheet while we're talking about it. You'll see that this is as of September 30th. This is the latest and greatest. We will get the December 31st number sometime, maybe a month and a half from now. But as of that time, they had total current assets of $476 million, comprised mostly of cash and Bitcoin. They then had a massive amount of property and equipment. This is one of the largest Bitcoin mining companies. We're going to go through their numbers. That leaves them with a total of $1.45 billion of total assets, $476 million of current assets. You're going to see their current liabilities are only $107 million, so that's close to a 5-to-1 ratio of current assets to current liabilities. And their total liabilities, because they have no long-term debt, none, their total liabilities are $154 million against $1.4 billion in assets. So this is an extremely, extremely healthy company from a financial standpoint. In addition to that, they continue to mine the most Bitcoin per month out of all the Bitcoin miners. So this allows them to fund their operations in full and their growth in full, and we'll look at a chart of that later as well. Riot had a deployed fleet of 82,656 miners with a hash rate capacity of 9.3 exahash per second. Riot's deployed fleet excludes 17,040 miners that are offline as a result of damage to Building G from the severe winter weather in late December in Texas. So if you remember, there's a gigantic storm in Texas. A lot of these Bitcoin miners got some infrastructure damage. Riot had a considerable amount of damage. This is taking 17,000 of their machines offline. But having said that, All those machines were offline all of January, and they still beat their all-time record number of Bitcoin mined in a month. All right, a quote from Jason Les, the CEO. Unfortunately, as a result of the damage, our previously announced target of reaching 12.5 exahash in total hash rate capacity in Q1 of 2023 is expected to be delayed. Now, they've been on target for this. They've been talking about this for a year, and they have pretty much been on target. But obviously now they have 17,000 machines and the facilities they're housed in that have some damage and they're offline. So this is now going to set them back. Quote, we will provide additional updates as we obtain greater clarity on the impact to our planned deployment schedule. In the meantime, the remaining infrastructure build out at the Rockdale facility continues to progress, and Building E now at 50% complete and on track to be fully completed this quarter, and we are continuing to execute on the expansion of the Corsicana facility. Okay, then they say, under mining deployment and shipment update, the receipt of January's miner shipment concludes all of Riot's miner purchase agreements with Bitmain Technologies. The company is currently evaluating options for utilizing planned capacity at the Corsicana facility for further hash rate growth. Okay, so 12.5 exahash is their target, and 100% of that is at the Rockdale facility. So they have not included yet any estimates for increased capacity for the new Corsica facility. Okay, so this is the other slide in their presentation that I think is very important. Industry-leading financial strength with growth plans through the year ended 2023 fully funded. So you're going to see they just do a very simple chart here. This is their current liquidity. This green bar is basically they're saying sales of Bitcoins in the year 2023. So, okay, so this is their current liquidity plus the liquidity they're going to get from mining Bitcoin in 2023. And then on this side, this is represents their expenses, their CapEx expenses to finish up the Rockdale facility. You can see that is almost done. There's just a small sliver here. And then at Corsicana, to get the 400 megawatts built out, that brings them at the year-end liquidity right really back to where they were at the beginning of the year. So they should remain highly liquid all year long. Now, with the price of Bitcoin, they may be able to even hodl a bunch more Bitcoin than they're thinking. So that is totally dependent on how the price of Bitcoin goes in the year 2023. But you can see this leaves them 100% self-funded for operations, 100% self-funded for CapEx, and zero debt on their balance sheet. So they are in a very, very strong financial position. So the last note that I want to make is at 740 Bitcoin, they were at 9.3 exahash. So that actually, from an efficiency standpoint, is not where they want it to be yet. Now, there's a big factor that they don't report in here, so I would like to know what that is, and I feel like they should report this to us on a monthly basis. And this has to do with energy credits. They get credits for sending energy back to the grid during peak energy need requirements. So what was the uptime on their machines that they had? 9.3 exahash of machines should produce a lot more than 740 Bitcoin. Was some of that self-curtailment? And remember, that does not include the 17,000 that are out of commission. Those are already subtracted. So was there some amount of self-curtailment? Was there a big energy credit they got for sending energy back to the grid? That's the final piece of the puzzle, because I expect this efficiency to go up and or for them to show us that they're getting big credits on energy, which effectively is the same thing. So I do think at 740 Bitcoin, I do think this is a company that could take a legitimate shot at breaking that record every single month for the entire year of 2023. Okay, now a quick look at their charts. I'm just going to go zoomed out for the moment. This is on the 1 week time frame. So if I go from their highs in November of 2021, and this is not their all-time high, earlier in 2021, they were significantly higher than this. But I'm going to go from November of 2021 when Bitcoin was at its all-time high. So from that period until now, so 15, 16 months, they're down 85%. This is very consistent with all the Bitcoin miners. Bitcoin is way off of its all-time high, but the Bitcoin miners are even much further off of their all-time highs. And like we saw, this is a much, much bigger company. Just quickly, here's the Bitcoin that they've mined by month. So you can see, back in January of 2022, they were at 458. This 521 they mined in November was their all-time record. So they crushed that in December with 659. That was their new all-time record. And then this January, obviously, they beat that with 740. So this is why I'm saying I think they can continue to trend in the right direction with the massive amount of exahash rate that they have and the infrastructure they're building out. So as we look at this down 85%, yes, we have to consider the price of Bitcoin is way off of its highs, but we also need to consider that Riot blockchain is a much, much bigger company and a much stronger balance sheet. Okay, so if I take a zoomed in look, this is Riot on the 1-day time frame. So you can see Riot right now in the middle of the day today, they're up about 108% from their lows in December. So just a little bit over 1 month, this is about 5 weeks, they're up 108%. This is very consistent with most of the Bitcoin miners. This is not outperformance. This has how the industry has performed in the month of January. So they were able to participate in that. They basically pulled a double, and they're actually off of their highs. At one point a few days ago, they were up as much as 142% from their lows in December. Okay, so lastly, they hit a high in August of around $10.50. Bitcoin was trading at $25,000 at that point. Now, we are finally getting very close to that. Bitcoin's been fluctuating between 23,000 and 24,000 for maybe the last week. So we're taking a run at 25,000. We're very close to that. Riot's stock price would still have to increase 56% in order for them to reach just back to the price that they were the last time Bitcoin was at $25,000. So I do think there's a bunch of upside to this stock. Having said that, if we take a look, if Bitcoin goes the other way and starts to revisit its lows, then Riot Blockchain is about 51% off of its recent low from December. So obviously there's your risk reward. And again, as always, this is not financial advice. You guys need to do your own due diligence, assess your own risk tolerance, and decide what you want to do with Riot Blockchain. So that's their update for the month of January. A lot of exciting things happening with them. Again, their all-time record of Bitcoin mined in a month. So thanks so much for watching. If you made it this far, please remember to subscribe to the channel. Also, consider joining the channel. There's a membership. You can hit the join button on the YouTube page. It's $5 a month. It helps support the channel, and we really appreciate it. We have an absolutely fantastic group, and we have a lot of fun in there. So we hope to see you there. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.